If you came here looking for a cool t-shirt, you're going to be disappointed. Stick around for the important part at the end. It's not about the t-shirt, though. It's about anxiety. Anxiety is at an all-time high. And by all-time, I don't mean just since the pandemic. I mean anxiety has been steadily rising over the past few decades. The prevalence of anxiety disorders has almost doubled from 1994 to 2018. There is no sign of it slowing down. And even worse, our culture seems to encourage it. We surround ourselves with negativity. We curate social media feeds that reinforce our biases and trigger our emotions. We live in a world that encourages fragility. But what if the response isn't new, but rather 2,000 years old? What would a Stoic do when they feel anxious or stressed or fearful? Because while there are many ways to cope with anxiety today, one of them comes from ancient Greece. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "When you rise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love." He was a Stoic philosopher who lived from 121 to 180 AD, during a time of great upheaval and chaos. He ruled the Roman Empire during its peak and faced countless challenges that would test anyone's resilience. Yet he found solace in philosophy, specifically Stoicism. But what exactly is Stoicism? How can we use it to cope with anxiety in 2025? The first thing to understand about Stoicism is that it is not just about being unemotional or suppressing your feelings. In fact, Stoics believed that emotions were natural and necessary, but they needed to be controlled and directed towards the right things. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Our life is what our thoughts make it." So let's explore 3 Stoic practices that will help us cope with anxiety in 2025. The first practice is negative visualization. It might sound counterintuitive, but instead of trying to avoid negative thoughts, Stoics encourage us to confront them head-on. They believe that by imagining the worst-case scenario, we can prepare ourselves mentally and emotionally for any situation. This doesn't mean that we should indulge in fear and worry, but rather that we should face them with courage and determination. Epicurus wrote, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." Our minds have the power to create vivid mental images that can make us feel like we re-experiencing the worst-case scenario, even before it happens. However, by practicing negative visualization, we can learn to control our imagination and prevent it from running wild. This can be done by setting aside time to imagine worst-case scenarios and practicing mindfulness to observe these thoughts without judgment. By confronting negative thoughts in a safe environment, we can reduce their power over us when we encounter them in real life. In the modern day, we have the advantage of learning from those who have gone through similar situations as us. There are countless stories of people who have faced and overcome the most challenging circumstances. For example, Viktor Frankl was a Jewish doctor who survived the horrors of Auschwitz concentration camp during World War II. In his book, Man's Search for Meaning, he shares his experience and explains how he found meaning, even in the most brutal and inhumane conditions. His story is a testament to the power of the human spirit and the importance of finding meaning in suffering. Another example is Helen Keller, who was both blind and deaf from a young age. She didn't let her disabilities define her, and went on to become a world-renowned author, lecturer, and activist. Her autobiography, The Story of My Life, is an inspiring account of her journey and a celebration of the human capacity for resilience and determination. These are just two examples of many. There are countless stories of individuals who have overcome incredible odds and achieved greatness despite facing unimaginable challenges. By learning from these individuals, we can gain valuable insights into how to deal with our own problems and develop the mindset and skills necessary to overcome them. Remember, knowledge is power. And the more we learn about the experiences of others, the better equipped we'll be to handle our own. So now you know why negative visualization is important. But how do we actually put it into practice? One way is through journaling. By writing down our thoughts and feelings, we can process them more deeply and gain clarity on what we need to work on. Seneca said, "It's not that life is short, it's that we waste a lot of it." So start by identifying the thoughts and emotions that cause you anxiety, and dedicate a few minutes each day to writing them down. You can also try writing down possible solutions or strategies for dealing with these thoughts and feelings. This can help you feel more in control of your emotions and reduce their impact on your overall well-being. Another way to practice negative visualization is through meditation. By focusing on our breath and observing our thoughts without judgment, we can train our minds to stay present and reduce the tendency to dwell on the past or worry about the future. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The happiness of your life depends on the quality of your thoughts." So take some time each day to sit in silence and focus on your breath. This can help you cultivate a sense of inner peace and resilience that will serve you well in times of stress and anxiety. The second practice is journaling. While negative visualization focuses on preparing us mentally for challenges, journaling helps us reflect on our thoughts and emotions and gain clarity on what's causing our anxiety. By writing down our thoughts and feelings, we can process them more deeply and gain a better understanding of ourselves. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Everything we do or say is an opportunity to practice virtue." Journaling can be a powerful tool for self-discovery and personal growth. By consistently recording our experiences and reflections, we can identify patterns in our thinking and behavior that may be contributing to our anxiety. We can then take steps to address these issues and develop healthier thought patterns and behavior. For example, if we notice that we're constantly worrying about the future, we can start practicing mindfulness and focusing on the present moment. If we find ourselves ruminating on past mistakes, we can practice forgiveness and self-compassion. By developing healthier thought patterns and behaviors, we can reduce our anxiety and improve our overall. The third practice is the dichotomy of control. The Stoics believed that there were things we could control and things we couldn't. It's up to us to focus our energy on the things we can control and accept the things we co-in. Epictetus said, "It's not events that upset us, but our judgments about those events." So instead of worrying about things that are beyond our control, such as the actions of others or the weather, we should focus on what we can control, such as our attitude and our response to events. For example, if someone cuts us off in traffic, we can choose to get angry and upset, or we can choose to let it go and remember that it is just a minor inconvenience in the grand scheme of things. By focusing on what we can control, we can reduce our anxiety and free up our mental energy to focus on the things that truly matter. In conclusion, Stoicism offers a valuable framework for understanding and managing anxiety in 2025 by practicing negative visualization, journaling, and the dichotomy of control. We can learn to face our fears with courage, gain clarity on our thoughts and emotions, and focus on what we can control. Remember, you can't control the storm, but you can control your mind. So, if you're feeling anxious or stressed, take a deep breath, focus on the present moment, and remind yourself that you're stronger than your anxiety. I hope this video is helpful. And if it was, please share it with a friend. Thanks for watching.